Okay, is this thing working? It is about, okay, careful, you're bumping the, shh. Okay, this is a shout out to Silver Surfer and the folks at Hammock Forums. This is De Hoya over at The Ultimate Hang. There are some questions today about the Grand Trunk Funky Forest tarp, or at least that's what we think it is. This tarp that I have behind me, Grand Trunk provided me for a to do a gear review, and I've been using it for a while. But this is the first time that we had a question whether or not what we're talking about is the Funky Forest tarp, or maybe it's another tarp that the specs aren't out yet. So what you see behind me, this is my steel pipe stand. It's 12 feet across. And you can see right now I've got it hung. The Funky Forest tarp is strung up here, and it's actually sitting strung up on the second tie-outs outside of the actual ridge line. This tarp is actually designed to be set up as a diamond pitch, but it's a big pitch. I just measured this with my kids, and from ridge line, from edge to edge here is 15 feet and 1 inch about 181 inches. And the measurement on the short sides is 11 feet, which works out, Pythagorean theorem works out just perfect. And you can also see this tarp, the edges, hopefully you can see the contrast there. This doesn't have a very dramatic catenary curve, but there is a slight curve to it. But for the most part, it's a fairly square tarp with a slight edge to it, or slight curve to it. But I found that it's really quite wide, and wide enough that when I pitch it off of this second pair of tie-outs, that gives me 9 feet and 3 inches, 111 inches. That makes actually a really great ridge line for most hammocks. Most hammocks, even a 10-foot hammock, you can bring it in. Well, maybe that's cutting a little close. I've got a bias micro hammock, and I haven't even pitched it yet. I'm going to go throw it up and see if it will fit this particular ridge line with the Funky Forest tarp the way it is. All right, I don't know if you can see this, but we've got the, this is an 11-foot length hammock, the bias button sling hammock. So you can see there, I've got the bug net you see here is, or the half bug net, and pulling it across the ridge line, you can see it actually fits just perfectly under that 9-foot ridge line. The nice thing about a square tarp like this with multiple tie-outs is that you can create, kind of origami, a ton of different hammock tarp designs just by picking different tie-outs to create a different ridge line. So you can maybe close off one edge but open up another. In this particular case where it's even, you can pull down the peaks on both sides to create doors and really close that off for pretty much 360-degree protection, although it's much better on a windward side because you can pitch one side directly to the ground. So here is the edge of the bias 11-foot hammock, and you can see if we pull back a little bit, there is one edge of the Funky Forest tarp, and on the other side we have, if this is even, it's not completely even, but you can see it's also good coverage on that particular hammock. And depending on how much you put your ridge line or change your ridge line, you get some good coverage. So here's the other piece here. You can pitch this out diamond style, and the other peaks can actually close in and become doors, depending on how you want to pitch it.